Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming, and this is The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 7, Countdown Live. You know what we do every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. It is time to count it down, to talk about the show. I'm really looking forward to a good episode tonight. Hopefully you guys are ready as well. Got everything cooking in the background. Make sure you watch your stuff. We got Valar super chatting right out of the gates. Hello 999 Army. Kill Steph, Emmy. Sweet Tommy, sponsors, patrons, and of course all the super chatters. And before we get too far into tonight's episode, I do want to say we got several new patrons. So JP and also Kimberly Smith, thank you so much. We've hit brand new milestones. We continue to grow and having a good time. And because of that growth, I'm going to announce a couple extra things that we are going to be doing. Hopefully you guys will like that. We're going to do some new contests. We had a lot of fun with the caption contest, so we are going to add more caption contests. And also, we're going to do some, kind of like some hidden clues, where we do a live stream, and I'll put an image or put something in one of the live streams, and then in a future live stream, we'll talk about it and see how much you remember, and we'll do some giveaways with that as well. And also, I want to do some highlighted comments, because we got some billboard space up here. I get some really good comments in the videos. Get some interesting ones as well. But some of the better comments, so it gives you kind of more incentive to comment on the video once they're live, and I'm going to take some of the comments and put them up there too so people can see those and read those as well. So that's what we got going on. Let's talk a little bit about, I do have to say this. This is just not making fun of anybody. Anytime I bring up another channel, I just get picked on. But something did pull up in my feed, and it is the most interesting channel name I've ever seen. And it's the longest. So apparently they are cutting and clipping trailers, so nothing new there, but they're calling their channel Hot New Movie and TV Trailers and Movie and TV Scenes. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen a YouTube channel with a longer name in my life, but they're pretty much taking the trailer and cutting and pasting it. And that's another reason why I'm so thankful for each and every one of you that we get together and we don't cut and paste trailers. We talk about the show. We talk about stuff's going out there. So there is Walking Dead chat channel 1,957,000, and I'm glad that we got our kind of little niche group. So let's get into tonight's episode. We are going to talk a little bit of spoilers. So we talk about what goes down tonight. These spoilers are courtesy of Spoiling Dead's fan page, so I'm not going to go exclusively over everything, but we've talked about it during the week. But there are a couple things that I do want to highlight in tonight's episode because it doesn't seem, at least from the surface, that there's going to be a ton of action. But I'm sure there's going to be some walker fights, so that'll be a little bit of fill-in. And what's usually cool is, you know, you get the overview of like the Q&A of what's going on, but there's always things I like to talk about in the reactions of what the spoilers didn't cover. So we're going to go through just a couple things. You know, the episode's going to start out basically with that Rosita scene that we talked about a little bit earlier, where she's getting away. Of course, we do find out, you know, Aaron and Jesus will come up, see what's going on after she shoots the flare. But it's going to be kind of a little freaky, where she's hearing the voices like, "She's dead. Where is she? Go get her. She's dead. She's not going to make it." That, right? That's my whisper of voice. Hey, free of charge. Free whisper of voice for everybody. So she is going to be freaking out, and then when she finally gets her bearings, she gets her senses, then we find out she did leave Eugene in a barn. So I'm not real happy about that personally, but it does appear that Rosita needs some medical attention. So I think they're going to get her back to Hilltop. And then it looks like in the next episode is when, you know, Daryl's going to make his way up to the Hilltop as well. So I was hoping there would be a Lydia introduction, but we're hearing now we're probably not going to get introduced to Lydia probably till like episode 11. So it's going to be a few more episodes before that goes down. And the situation around that is going to be a little bit different than what we thought. So I don't know, maybe we'll get to see Eugene surviving a little bit. You know, if we see Eugene stuck in a barn or stuck in a shed, in Cheryl's she shed, I wonder if there's going to be some creativity. Like, you know, Eugene is crafty. So I wonder if there's a way that he'll survive, or we're just going to get kind of like that Eugene scene where he's, you know, if you can visualize me, it's like his bottom lip is just twitching and he's just like, he's scared to death Eugene. I wonder if we're going to see that, or we're going to see him come up with a creative way to survive and to last a night or so. Because we do know that Jesus will meet up with him at some point, or Aaron, or both. We do find out officially Jesus is the leader of the hilltop, although it's thought that Tara is running like a co-lead. So Maggie's gone. We're going to find out what happened with Maggie. So Sadiq will tell Michonne, and kind of what we thought, that she's already left. Maggie went to rebuild a new community with Georgie. So I'm going to stop right there. What are your thoughts of that? Do you think that things have just been running so smoothly the last 6 years that Maggie was, she's ready to go help do something different? Time to pass the reins to someone else? That just seems, like, hey, I conquered it, and then, there's nothing else to do here. Let me just go help somebody else build up theirs. I'm a little concerned with that arc. Oh, you better believe it, Scott. Scott super chatting. There's a big emphasis on Magna's group. Oh, yes. Going to be a lot of stuff going down with that. And Scott, in the earlier stream, I know you jumped in there for a little bit and couldn't stay for it, but a lot of talk about Magna, and I got some high hopes for Magna's group. Yeah, I mean, Steph, I guess Georgie's been writing her the letters, and she's been writing back, so they've kind of built this pen-pal relationship. And just time to go out and find some more records, I guess. Rick's Girl for Life, super chatting, just saying hi to the 999 family. Missed you guys and changed my name, June Smith. June, you were not lying about being a Rick Grimes fan. Love the new name. And well, you know what? I liked your regular name too, June. So either way, good to have you here, and thank you for that. Appreciate it. So it looks like, we've got medics all over the place. Like, there's a doctor, I guess, at every location. So they are growing. And we did a special video on this, I think it was Friday. And I do want to talk about it because I want you guys to be prepared once again. And it is the campfire scene, and it is Daryl. And we find out, hopefully you guys have seen the video by now. I know most of you have. But it's going to be a very touching scene where we find out the reason Daryl was out there is because he went out there to look for Rick's body. I think it's going to hit us a little bit. It's going to get you a little choked up. So be prepared. Just be ready. We really will start, I think, to transition Daryl to the lead of the show. And even in last week in the mailbag from Skybound, they're making it clear that Daryl is the star of the show. But they also said that Michonne and Carol will get just as much airtime. So almost like the Hilltop. You've got Jesus, who I guess is the kind of de facto leader, but Tara is sort of taking over. Daryl is considered the lead, and Michonne and Carol, I hope it stays that way, because I don't know. I don't know how long Michonne's going to want to keep doing this with her movie career being so awesome. But then we get to Michonne leading Magna's group to Hilltop. So Scott said a little bit earlier, it's going to be a big focus on Magna's group. And some things that go down tonight. Michonne goes by Magna's little camp. They're set up, and they find out that a lot of Magna's people have been taken down. They're gone. So what was left of them? So there's a herd there, and they do see Bernie. And Michonne is the one that has to put Bernie down because Magna cannot bring herself to do it. So we're seeing a transition with Magna. In a weird sort of way, they're giving us like her character, maybe her character flaws, her sensitivity, because we didn't get a chance to really learn anything about them. So, and we didn't grow with them. So we're going to find out like what they do. Magna was kind of tough. She was like, screw you to Michonne. Then she was going to break in her house. and then she sees RJ, and she decides, no, I can't do that. And then her and Michonne hit it off, and now we see her actually, she cares about her people. So we saw her very protective of her people. She'll do what she needs to do, but she can't kill one of her own people. Going to be another touching scene, I think. Michonne will find out by scouts that Rosita is at the hilltop and receiving medical care. So it is official. We can kind of put that to rest. Rosita will not be captured, and she will be back at Hilltop. But that does set up a future theory that we talked about. Perhaps Rosita, after she gets some medical attention, is going to feel guilty about leaving Eugene and maybe go back out on her own to try to find him. Otherwise, I just don't know what Rosita's arc is going to be if she doesn't go back out and get in the fight a little bit. I agree, Michael. I don't think she should go out there alone, but that's so typical Rosita. I mean, when her and Sasha teamed up, I mean, maybe somebody else goes out there with her. Could be two people go out there. Maybe both of them get captured. And that is if they do the trade. So we do know, or we have heard, that at some point we meet Alpha. It will be at Hilltop, and she will be trading whoever she takes hostage. And, as we do the countdown, I'm just kind of curious. Let's say 2. Because the rumor we heard was hostages. So if Alpha takes 2 people, which 2 would you predict that she kidnaps? Or the Whisperers kidnap? Pick any 2. Judy and RJ, I like that. We talked about it earlier today. Chosen one, here is the very cryptic message that ties into a spoiler, okay? So in last week's Skybound Walking Dead grab bag, the question was asked about Lydia. And we heard from Spoiling Dead's fan page a while back that Michonne will kidnap Lydia. Last week, when they were doing kind of the Q&A from Skybound, they said, when will we meet Lydia? And they said, in the near future. But they also said, if we haven't seen her already. So what do you think that means? Now, obviously, we haven't seen her in plain daylight, or we'd recognize her. So I'm thinking Lydia's mixed in with these walkers. We saw her indirectly. Yeah, that's what they said. They said we may have seen her already. Look, it may have meant nothing. They may have been just kind of, giving us something to think about. But I think it means that she's got her own mask. Now I'm going to have to go back looking for hidden clues. Like, there's some eyes, set of eyes looking through the bushes there at Daryl. Yeah, I mean, You know what? I think that's a good call out. BVB. The person who said, "Where are they?" is Lydia. Maybe that's what they meant by it. So it appears that Rosita and Eugene are both at least safe temporarily. You know, watch your kids. Nobody's watching RJ, or somebody's watching RJ. We don't know who, and we don't know who's watching Judy. But I think that would be, with Michonne being gone and Michonne having to help them, yeah, if the Whispers sneak in and steal a couple kids for some leverage, whew, that's going to fire up Michonne. She is going to let Negan out of the cage to help her out. Okay, a little bit more about the dog. We're hearing that the dog's name is Dog. And I think we saw the dog's real life name is Steven. So we know the name of the dog, the real dog's name, but it's circulating that's just called Dog. And as we discussed, the dog helps Daryl with walker traps, but unfortunately, he gets stuck in one of the traps, and Daryl is going to get him out. So it is 7? Okay. Fair enough. Someone sent me the info. I thought it was Steven. 7 is good enough for me. I'm going to have people calling this dog 7 and Steven. And he's introduced in episode 7. What a coincidence. But this scene is, apparently, it's pretty moving because Daryl, who has been just, out there with nothing to fight for, when he sees Henry, and Henry is willing to save both, then that convinces Daryl to go to the hilltop. Magna's group. What do you guys think about Connie? And I know it hasn't been discussed, I guess, overly discussed. Connie got some heightened senses. Are you guys feeling that? Do you feel that because she is deaf that she just has this sense that she can, I don't know, it sounds weird, but I just feel like Connie's got this sixth sense, like this, not a superpower, but just this awareness about her. That's a good call out, Neufeld. Says she feels what we hear. So, Connie could be a weapon. Daryl's puppy could be a weapon. I mean, and I'm not saying this just in joking, because in the past you thought weapons was who had the bigger gun. And now with this type of war, with people kind of blended in, and they're liable to sneak up on you anyway, anyhow, having a person that can give you an edge, or Daryl having a dog that can give you an edge, I think those are game changers. They're game changers in the war. Doesn't mean we're not going to lose people, but any edge we can get. Time to free Negan, because now you're going to need somebody else's. Negan might have some heightened senses too. I think he's had plenty of time to develop. Amy Ferrero, as a mom of a deaf kid, other sensors are heightened. So Thank you. Thank you for that and providing a little bit of insight. I just saw like a little bit of the clip, and she just looks like everybody else is kind of going with the flow, and then she's focusing in on something, like she can tell. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how that plays out. Well, so let's look at look, we know Jesus and Aaron have been practicing martial arts, and we look at that as a weapon. But if we're truly trying to get an edge, Connie, Negan, Daryl's dog, and a 10-year-old that just has no consequence about anything whatsoever, that grew up in this environment, no fear. Like I don't think Judy's afraid of anything. So all four of those might be extreme assets. Yeah, and the martial arts is probably not going to work, because I just have this feeling Jesus is going to take out a couple of them, but eventually they're going to get to him. They're just going to overpower him. So I told you guys RJ was real. You can see RJ Guerrero right there. So RJ says, in my honest opinion, Jesus still needs to show his true capabilities in combat. I think that's fair. I think it's a fair question. Do you guys feel like the character of Jesus has been somewhat wasted on the TV show compared to the graphic novel? That they've toned him down a little too much and haven't given him enough fight scenes to really demonstrate his capabilities? I thought, do you think that we will get a little bit of the true vengeance? Do you think something will push Jesus over the edge before his potential exit from the show? You think we'll get to see a little bit more? And we know if he gets more airtime and more martial arts airtime, it's probably a bad thing too. Terra Mama, RJ is real as real gets. Confirmed by at least 4 major sources, and comicbook.com was the most recent to really just, I don't want to use the word abuse, but really call out a lot of the people on Twitter who just wouldn't let it go. And even after it was confirmed by Angela Kang, there were still people holding on to the theory, and there's just some major publications who've just absolutely bashed it. It caught on. I mean, a lot of traction. Black and White says, I think Lydia was the pink shirt walker Tara saw. Interesting. Now I'm going to have to go back and sort of zoom into that, Black and White. Thank you for that. I got some material. I'm going to go check it out. Sergeant Chosen One, mid-season finale death will be... I still think it's possible it's Jesus. Sergeant, I think tonight is really going to set the stage for Jesus going back out and finding Eugene. I think him and Aaron will find Eugene. And on the way back, I think, is when they're going to kind of have the encounter. So I'm still holding out for that. Yeah, I got you, Scott. So, Scott, your previous super chat was, I feel as if Spoiling Dead will be silent for 9-8. Actually, I don't. I'm going to disagree. I think because Spoiling Dead has already put it out there that way early that Jesus dies, I think they'll look to confirm it. And if it is in the mid-season finale, I think we'll see it next week. There's still a lot that can go down. So the scene where the walkers are milling, that's next week. Because everybody has to meet at Hilltop. So tonight, they're going to make their way back to Hilltop. Rosita will be up there. Daryl's going to be up there. Then Daryl, the dog, Jesus, and Aaron go back out looking for Eugene. And that's when they start to notice all the other stuff that's going down. They don't know they're whispers because Eugene might be the only person to know that. Rosita probably thinks she's losing her mind. And she's getting medical attention. So they're going to have to find it out the hard way. And then we're going to get that scene where they find Eugene and he says the walkers are evolving. And I think when they're making their way back out is when we could see that epic fight scene where Jesus jumps up and he's surrounded. I think Aaron will be injured. I think Aaron and Eugene potentially could get away. And I think Jesus dies. I mean, that would be I think that would be the opportune time. I just don't know that they can keep going out and going back and fighting them, going out, going back and fighting them. How many times can they go back and forth and have a reason to go back and forth? So, I don't know. This seems to be the point in time. So, if it goes down, I would think it'll be in next week's episode because they're going to set the stage really good for it. And, Scott, I'll say this with Spoiling Dead. If that's what happens, I think you'll see a spoiler. If that's not what happens, you might not see a spoiler. If it's something completely wild and epic. I mean, they put the spoiler out for Rick before it happened, and that would have been one you would have thought they would have set on a little bit more. All right, we're going to do one more thing. We made a whole lot of announcements tonight, so I need everybody here. Do me a big favor. If you guys are a member of the 999 Army, if you're not, subscribe. Just subscribe. We want you here. We do a lot of broadcasts. We do a lot of streams. We do dead discussions. We dig down like nobody else. And it's all about you. So, but right now, it's all about the channel. Do me a favor, everybody, pike that like button. Hit it, Lucille it, let's do it. Let's get this thing up to 150, 200 likes. If you guys are having a good time, if you're enjoying the streams, do want to make another announcement. We've got our reaction video tonight at 10:15. So while Talking Dead is going on, I know you guys are going to want to have Abraham, Michael Cutlets in the background, but make sure you're in our stream because those are our kind of raw reactions. So, want everybody to be involved in that. We're going to have a good time with this. And also, I got one more question. Scott with Super Chat says they didn't do that for 8-8 and 8-16, but they did do it for Rick. And the thing with 8-8 is they didn't do it because Chandler reached out to them. And they had not put out how it went down. With this, they've already said 3 months ago that Jesus died. So I think it's a little different set of circumstances. But we'll see. Based on all the spoilers I've given you, we do this a lot, and I like to compare it with the countdown to the reaction. From a 1 to a 10, based on the sadness of the scene of Daryl, getting to know Magna's group a little bit more, Rosita and her scene out in the woods and leaving Eugene behind. Give me a rating of what you think tonight's episode is going to be based on all the spoilers, all the information that you currently have. Got a lot of people saying 8. There we go. We got some 10s. So a couple people coming in strong saying this episode is going to be a 10. Ron Burgundy Moore going super low. Ron, 6.5. Breaks my heart. Some 8s, some 9s. All right. Good scores, good scores. I mean, people are they're loving the season so far. Uncle Creepy, 8 for the slow burn build-up. Yeah, I think it's a necessary thing. They got to tell a little bit of story. But if the Daryl scene comes off really good, I can give it a little bit more. All right, I am coming in at an 8.5. An 8.5 because I love what they're doing with Daryl's character. I don't like what they're doing with Rosita's character. And let's see how much convenience and coincidence is in tonight's episode, whether they escape, then they go back, they escape, they go back, all of those things. The writing has been incredible up to this point. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. We have hit 30 minutes, so we're going to wind this thing down. We'll do some shout-outs in our reaction video at 10:15 tonight. If you guys are new to the channel, Monday, every night, Monday night, 9:30, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We do some special streams on Friday. We do early morning streams on Saturday. So do want to invite you guys. And also, Rusty Lion. You guys check out his channel. Did a really good, he's got a couple tributes. Rusty, I just saw the one you did to Shane, which is great. Behind Blue Eyes. So I didn't get a chance to watch the newest one with the, all the different shows. But the Rick dedication was good, and the one with Shane were both excellent. So if you guys get a chance, check out some of Rusty's work. He does a good job over there with incorporating some of the sound and some of the kind of tributes to some of the Walking Dead scenes that we love and enjoy. So with that being said, everybody, I will see you all at 10:15. Make sure you're here. We're going to do a comparison, and I want to see what they show us that was not in the spoilers. Thanks once again. My name's Killshot. I will talk to you all soon. Peace.